Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of the Coach Ray Speaks podcast. I'm Coach Ray. And we're going to get started. Leadership is often found in places that we don't often think about or don't often expect. That leadership is special, especially when it challenges the status quo. President Eisenhower said, "Progress towards noble goals is persistently threatened by conflict now engulfing the world. It commands our whole attention and absorbs our very beings. We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, aesthetic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method. Unhappily, the danger it poses and promises is of an indefinite duration." Now, President Eisenhower was saying that during his farewell address, June 17th, 1961. The same can be said of influences today. Those that have influence, or I should say have gotten involved with the justice system. 70% of those, when released, are basically reincarcerated within 3 years. But there are those who are attempting to stem that tide, not only for themselves, but for others in the community. Healers, people that have the heart, mind, and soul to commit to saving the minds of the young people. President Barack Obama once stated, "We are the change we've been looking for." And today I'd like to introduce two agents of that change, Mr. Carlton Smith and Mr. Bobby Romo. We welcome both to the podcast.
Peace, how you doing?
Peace.
So, guys, I want to get started. I'd like to ask first question. You both are credible messengers. You both have stories. Bobby, I'm going to start with you. Like to hear your story. Like to know exactly what has brought you to this point in your life right now.
Again, how you doing? I'm Bobby. The question was what I've accomplished, or
what you've done. I mean, you've been involved in the justice system,
correct?
Right. So tell us your story.
Okay. Well, I've been incarcerated from the age of 14 to 41. I have only a year and a half in the streets. I recently did an incarceration bid of 13 and a half years. And I now have 6 years, made February 2nd, that I made 6 years home. It's actually the longest I've ever been in society since the age of 14. What I think what's got me where I'm at is a lot of commitment, dedication, determination, a lot of self-positive talk, a lot of goal settings. Without that, I don't really believe that it would be possible. As well as spiritually, God, guidance is very important to me. He's what allowed me to end up coming out in the actual half-sane mind that I have right now, because it's not normal to end up incarcerating an individual for a total of 16 and a half years and, put them back into society and have such a outcome. The reason being, I'm successfully employed. I work with formerly incarcerated individuals, so it actually puts me in a position that I can actually give back to my community. I work in the Bronx. I'm not from the Bronx. I'm originally born and raised in Brooklyn, but it's been a beautiful journey and a wonderful experience living in the Bronx. I love the people. I love the swag. It's just completely different from where I was raised at. So I think that also helped a lot, making my transition back into society as successful as it has been. Like I said, I've been in spot fit. At the age of 14, I came out when I was 17. I was from the streets. So pretty much it just took me a year and a half. I turned 19 in prison and I came out when I was 35.
Wow.
my struggles in prison, that goes from, anywhere, assaults, inmate on inmate. It's, a lot of geopolitics. Everything in there it's a different world. People are more desensitized. So, crime and crime on crime, it's easily acceptable. But as I learned, one thing about prison is that, you learn to read people very well. And now that I notice, where I work at, these brothers that are coming home, they might not know how to read or write or even articulate their words, but one thing that I do give it to each and every one of them is that they know how to read people. So they tend to sense when someone is just giving them book texture or they actually speaking from the heart. And I've learned that in time in society that more people gravitate to the actual realness of a person speaking from the heart than actual book texture. So I've always been against the book texture gimmick.
I got you. Thank you for that. Carlton, what about you?
Well, my trajectory is a little different. I've been in the system one way or the other since I was about 18 months old. Mm-hmm. Started out the foster care system, then I went to the jail system. I've never actually done a state bid. Mm-hmm. I've done city bids, even as an adult, as a youth. Just doing this work, what got me doing this work is kind of seeing young people in a position that I was in as a youth, now with no guidance and no one to help them, no one to look out for them. So when I was young, I had one mentor, and I want to give those young people that same guidance and know-how that I had at one point in my life. I wanted to be that guiding force for them.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, and either one of you can answer this, what is the importance and purpose of what you teach on a daily basis and what, to a young person?
Oh man, just being that shoulder for one, just giving them everything. A lot of people are coming from broken homes or one parent households, and they don't have that positive role model. If a lot of times you ask a young person, what does a healthy relationship look like? They have no idea what that looks like. So kind of being that maybe one healthy relationship that they can look at and be like, okay, this is somebody positive. This is somebody that I can actually follow. Somebody that's doing good things. That's not standing on the street corner. That's not trying to hustle. That's not doing all these negative things that I was brought up to kind of know or think is cool. Mm-hmm. And I can follow that person or take advice from that person.
Bobby, tell me about the connection you make with the people every day in the community and what that is like.
Well, honestly, it's a constant reminder that all it takes is for one mess up and I could go back into their shoes, wearing the same boots, wearing that same vest. To be frankly honest with you, I feel like they help me out a lot more than what I possibly do for them on a day-to-day basis, because I could give them structure and I can end up speaking to them and teaching them how to move a mop or sweep a floor. But what they give me is the fact that, it's very important to make positive decisions in my life and not just choose, frivolous or certain things that could just be overlooked, not to focus so much on them mentally, physically. And, I guess, I having this experience every single day, it's like a dream job because I actually enjoy doing it. It goes back to what my brother just finished saying right now is exactly that. Like, put it this way, when you assemble a regular TV in your house, you feel proud of yourself when you get to watch it every single time that you just finished doing. When you're dealing with a human being, it's like so much more fulfilling. It goes beyond words because it's actually something that, you might not see them the next 8, 9, 7 years and the accomplishments that they would do, but just knowing that something that you possibly would have said to that person was a seed that blossomed within them and you actually transformed the life. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a humbling experience.
So, speaking of transformational lives, how do you both gauge success and failures in what you do every day?
That's a good question, man. Success is, my definition of seeing success in a young person is seeing them happy. I believe happiness just in your daily life is a success. Just being content, having a place to live, having your own, having a job, having not to worry about the basic necessities of life, and having those, and not having to worry about where I'm going to sleep tomorrow, where I'm going to go tomorrow, or I have to do this, I have to take care of this. Just having that contentment, or being in a place where you feel secure is success to me. Failure is, I just feel with a lot of young people that I work with, failure is just not taking advantage of so many opportunities that they have. It's just, I don't know if it's awareness or is it just being afraid of the unknown.
Okay.
So those are some failures that I see with the young people that I try to help them out with, or see them through.
All right, Bobby.
Yeah, I agree a lot with my brother. I also see success for me personally it comes in your self-worth. And a lot of us is growing up with no parents, with no men in the house. So we get taught by a woman how to become a man. So a lot of youth now are very emotional, and they gravitate to the erratic behavior and the sporadic outbursts, just similar to females. And unfortunately, this is a society that we raise up. So I figured that self-worth, they have to learn what is their level of success. To me, having a park garage in my house for my cars will be a level of success for me. Like, where do you see yourself in the short period of time that you be in society? Because you have a window period that if you cannot make it within that window period, you're gonna fail and go back into the same place where you came out of. So you have to deal with realistic successes. Like my brother and them saying, that's the reality. And brothers is happy. I was crying in my cell at 25 because I knew he was going to either be dead or in jail. Now this is the reality of brothers living in the hood. Like, some of them might not even make it to their 20th birthday, 19, 21st birthday. So it's a survival thing. And if they can make it by 25, that's their level of success right there, because they never knew any better. So if we're not teaching them how to reach for beyond the skies, because skies ain't the limit no more, and see their future and gravitate towards it and grab it, we're just gonna continue leaving them blind, like the society that we live in now.
Like you were saying about them seeing 21, just living past 21 is a success. As a facilitator of change, I want to shift that paradigm from it being, hey, I lived to 21, I'm successful. I don't want that to just be it.
Amen.
I don't want that just to be, hey, I reached the age, I'm successful, now what?
So how do you push them beyond that?
It's giving them resources, not
Amen.
just telling them stuff. It's providing them with resources, giving them information, showing them how to do it. Okay.
All right. No, that's okay. That's all right. Music is playing. We just come to the end of the first segment. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Two Agents of Change on the Coach Ray Speaks podcast. We will be right back.
Hi, this is Coach Ray of Coach Ray Speaks. Are you an established entrepreneur that struggles to get on the phone and make prospecting calls? Are you reluctant to network, to put yourself out there, to get new clients? Or have you spent money on the next big thing that was supposed to bring you all the clients you can handle? Now you can hang on to false hope, or you can get help. I'm a business strategist who can show any existing business how to find $10,000 in revenue in less than 45 minutes of conversation. Now, this conversation is already paid for by this podcast and is absolutely free to you. So, take the offer for a test drive and contact me today. Email me, Coach Ray, COACHRAY, at CoachRaySpeaks.com. Just mention you heard this offer on this podcast, and we can be talking about increasing your bottom line very soon.
And we're back. We're listening to Bobby Romo, Carlton Smith on the Coach Ray Speaks podcast. And guys, I'd like to kind of turn the corner a little bit now. Some would call what you do every day a calling, something that you guys may have been ordained to do. What makes it something that you want to be of service to people for? What makes you want to do this? Because you guys, you've done your service. You can go and be anything, anywhere, at any time.
Indeed.
What makes you want to be back in the hood? Helping young people.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Bro? First of all, what my brother Carl just said in the last segment, that's facts, 100%, man. Like, we don't have the resources, and it's something that we could touch later on. But what motivates, honestly, I never believed that I would be in a position that I am today. So that's what makes it more believable. You couldn't talk. See, the good thing about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X is that they always preach for the future. Their future wasn't stronger than my reality that I don't have nothing to eat in my house right now. My kids don't got no clothes. I have to come up with I'm too young and not doing nothing with my life. And this reality that I have to come back home to a broken home every single day is not weaker than the hope for the future that everybody could talk about.
Right.
So me living it and actually being in the position that I am right now and knowing that I'm going to continue to go further because I believe in myself. I'm opening up so many doors to new resources. Things that my brother Carl just ended up saying right now that we do not have, man. Like, again, I'm coming home at 35, 36 years old. Picture me asking people that have been in society that doesn't know where I'm coming from, how do you work a phone? Because when I was out here, we had beepers. So how do you even do an email? How do I write a check? Because I was too young to do all of that. It's embarrassing. So if I don't have brothers like Carl and that make me feel comfortable to be like, your brother, can you help me fill out an email? Because I don't even know how to do an email. I don't even know what is a resume. And a brother that I know that when I first came to one of these programs that they offer you, this brother actually sat with me and wrote a resume with me because I never knew what that was.
I think a lot of people don't realize and understand that when you come home, especially after being there for a long period of time, society is such that it's moved on without you. So you've got to catch up, right? And I know you guys have seen every day, people look at these phones. The guys that have come home, they're staring at the phones because it's an amazing technology, but we take it for granted because we use it every day. But they can't, they're so transfixed. Just because the technology is amazing, they just don't know how it works.
Because it gives you power. To technology nowadays in society, these phones give you power. I could go anywhere I want in matters of seconds. I could learn anything I want to learn in a matter of minutes.
Right.
If I apply myself, so with that much power, remember, so many of us don't even know what to do. Give a kid coming home $10,000. The first thing he's thinking about is a pair of shoes and clothes. Like, there's no investments. We're not being taught this in school, and we're definitely not being taught this in the hood. The main drug dealer doesn't want to put out there and say, well, listen, if you save up your money and work with me, we'll both get 2 pounds instead of this one that I'm working. No, nobody wants to see somebody come up. Everybody has this crab in the barrel mentality, but doesn't understand that's not even that's not even the right way of thinking. But through our struggles and our everyday struggle that we live with in the hood, we cannot accept anybody's future, hope for future for tomorrow if we can't fix the reality of right now. And
Got you. So, Carlton, I'm going to ask you this. What are you trying to teach the young people that you mentor? What skills are you trying to develop with them?
There's so many different things. I feel like one is just to be self-sufficient. One is to really a lot of young people right now, music. They see becoming a musician as success, as what they want to do. I want to be a rapper, but often that's not your reality. So I want to teach them how to use their hands, how to eat well. Mental health is important. Just what you put in your body, what you watch. So many different things about wellness is like my main forte is helping them with mental health, eating right, exercising, and just putting yourself in the whole state of healing. Okay. Because a lot of people don't know that we're suffering out here and we need healing, and they don't see that. A lot of people in our community don't see therapy as something they should do. Right. Oh, well, why am I going to do therapy? I'm not crazy. You say I'm crazy. Weakness, right? Okay. And I'm a big advocate for therapy and just getting yourself right. Because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of somebody else? Right. So that's a few of my biggest things.
So let me ask both of you. You work with young people every day. if I'm a store owner or I have a business, are there any budding entrepreneurs? Are there any guys that, have a chance to actually make it and would I take a chance and want to hire someone from the young people that you work with? I mean, I'm looking for those kind of skills. Are those kind of skills being even talked about and developed?
Definitely. The big catchphrase right now, the big word is entrepreneur. That's what young people say. I want to be an entrepreneur, and really don't know what that means or what that entails. But that's the cool phrase now. But I believe I definitely taught a class last week, and I asked who wants to work for themselves. Everybody stepped forward. Not one person did not step forward. So everybody wants to be self-sufficient or has an idea of what being self-sufficient is. And I think a lot of people have that ambition, but it's just bogging down and knowing it's going to be hard work. And putting in that work day to day is something that may be a challenge, but I think if they have a trajectory or somewhere to go where listen, this is how you do this. This is the route you need to take. If it's school you need to go to get an education and further what you want to do that. If it's, hard skills you need to learn or soft skills you need to learn, do that. If it's a course or something you need to do that. So the information is out there, and I try to give as much information as possible on whatever field. If it's culinary arts, if you want to be a chef, okay, do you want to own your own business? Cool. How do you do that? What is the natural law that helps you to get to where you want to go? What do you need to do? So I try to give as much information as I possibly can.
You mentioned something, Carlton. I want to pose this to Bobby. Fear. Do you see that in dealing with young people? Are they afraid to learn the skills?
What type of skills are you speaking?
Well, I mean, any skills to land a job. Are they afraid? I mean, when you see them every day, you mentioned during the break that sometimes guys get high and they're not coming the correct way. So is it fear that could be holding them back? I mean, what do you see as maybe why they're not getting over that hump to get the jobs that they know they can get, that they qualify for? Because there are people pushing skills at them. They want them to go to this program. They want them to go to that program. But, what skills are they getting? And if they're not getting skills, is it the fact that they're afraid? If they're not afraid, why? What do you think? What
I see a consistency in the youth nowadays is that a lot of them have short spans of attention. You could have them for that 20 minutes, half an hour, and you could get the next Malcolm out of them. But the minute they walk out of that building and they go back to that hood and go back to that projects, they know that they coming from a program that gives them money, or that they have some money, so they get the artificial love. What's going on? Where you been at? Oh, come on. And that's what keeps us blind and stagnant in society. We don't get that at home, so that's why we gravitate to the streets. Our fathers is not home to be hugging us. Our mothers has got too much work to do and cooking, all that, too much on their mind. Or the next man that's got them in love and to be caring and asking about how our day was, or how did it go? What productivity did you get today out of the program that you went through? We don't have those forms of conversation. You see, we're from the era, and we're from our type of people is that when our kids, when they're younger and we're writing bills on the table, we're the type to send them right to their room and go watch the Idiot Box or the television. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you see the Caucasians, the way they end up doing and the way they bring their children, they sit them right next to them and say, do you know what this is? Well, this is an electricity bill. Do you know why we got to pay this? Because then you can watch your TV. And they break things down to them so it could be simple form. That's why they always advance. So when these youth come out from incarceration, they already come spiritually defeated because they will never end up having no form of guidance through a higher power. Physically beaten for the simple fact that it's a lot of tension and it's a lot of stress to be under those circumstances and not know if you're going to get robbed, if you got to go put in some work, or if you got to end up looking out for somebody that's going to get beat up or something like that.
Right.
Then you got the mental breakdown. These correctional officers, they've tried to break your spirit. They talk to you. They move you as cattle in these places. So when you come out, I seen that these youth come out so institutionalized. They expect you to tell them when to get get up, when to go to the bathroom, when to sit down, how to act, how to not act, and these are ABC things that this is supposed to be instilled in them, but we're lacking in our communities. We're not giving back. We're not teaching them. We're not making entrepreneurs. We're making workers. This country has always been set up so that we can become the best worker we can to be. We was always taught work hard for the dollar instead of making the dollar work hard for you. So this is some type of mentality that has to be broken and has to end up being changed. And now discipline is always looked at as a punishment or as a form, you see, because that's instilled with us. If you do this, you're going to get disciplined because of by doing this. But if you change the words, and you end up knowing that the words got power. So if you discipline your mind to stay focused, to stay dedicated, to stay determined, to fulfill a short-term goal, that's what you need in order to come out on top. You need some more form of motivation, even if it's from yourself, because who's your biggest fan? It got to be you, man. If you can't love you, you can't make it nowhere. You can't be a better father. You can't be a better son. You can't be a better nephew, a better person, because of the fact that you have to start learning how to work on habits, work on productive habits. The reason I say productive habit is very healthy is because when you work towards a habit, the outcome is a better character. And if you work on habits that are positive, you're going to get only positive character from there. If you work on negative habits, then you're going to understand negative consequences and negative outcomes is going to come from there.
You mentioned the word defeated, and that's a big word in the work that you guys do. Talk about the trauma and pain that you guys see every day. And what does that lead? That leads to self-sabotage, obviously. So let's talk about that a little bit.
The young people have no idea they're suffering from trauma. They have no idea. Right. They don't even realize it. They just see it as everyday life. It becomes the norm. Just moving with trauma, walking with trauma, it becomes the everyday norm. It becomes normal to them. So when you speak on trauma with young people, they're like, what? Trauma? I'm not going through this. This is nothing. This is normal. This is normal to me. That's right. You know, just like we were previously talking about fear. Fear is real. Fear is real. Fear of success. If you don't have anyone successful around you and you on the cusp of being successful, you're going to be scared. You have no mold to look at, nothing to go off from. You have nothing. So it's like, I don't want to do this. No, I'm going to get in my own way. I want to self-sabotage. I want to do something that's all right. So I'm out of the spotlight. Okay. I'm not going to show up here. I'm not going to try my best, or I'm not going to wear the right things. I'm not going to do or say the right things because I'm afraid to be successful, because all I know is what's around me. I know this person over here, this person, they're not doing anything. So why should I do anything? You know, the spotlight's going to be on me, and now everybody's going to want me to succeed even more. You know, and even I went through kind of that. I was the first person in my neighborhood to get arrested and go away. I was also the first person to go to college. So it was a lot.
Wow. So that's a big disparity, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
It was a lot, you know.
That's huge.
So just having that on my back, everybody see me going to school. Oh, you going to school? And it's like, wow, that's a heavy burden, you know, and like to do it myself, like, you know, everybody push me. Oh, you going to school? You doing your thing? Good. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, yo, I had a hard life. It wasn't easy for me. So now I kind of see with the young people, I don't look at it as like, yo, if I could do it, you can do it. Everybody struggle is different. So I don't really like to compare struggles. I just know you're going through something. I went through something. I could just give you a little guidance to kind of help you on your way, or show you a little roadmap of what to do, what not to do. And it's up to you to take the information and run with it. But definitely fear is something that's real. Fear is real with a lot of young people. Fear of success, fear of being the focal point of winning. You know, so I like to tell them, like, listen, I can't want you to win more than you want to win. You know, I want you to win, but if you don't want to win, it's going to be all for nothing. All the work we're trying to put in is going to be all for nothing.
Okay, Bobby.
Yeah, I agree. With Brother Carl, what he's saying, man. That's exactly it. Like the fear, and remember, a lot of our youth come out defeated before they even hit the streets, man. Because
why is that?
Because the parenting, man. But nowadays, we're not parenting our children. We're just sheltering them. We're just providing them a cot in a room so that they could have somewhere to rest their head at and think that's form of parenting. That's all we're doing now.
So are we setting them up to fail?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like our youth is coming out defeated straight out the homes, because the minute you come out, you can't say nothing to them. You can't say they ain't worth shit because they already feel like they ain't shit. You can't tell them they're a thug because they take that as a pride of badge of honor, and they all being seen and watching this in their house and not being taught and shown different. So this is why when you do not raise your kids, trust me, someone in prison will. And if you decide to end up becoming a punk chump or a queer, that was your neglect, because you have to wisen your kids. You have to show them and give them insight, because a lot of the youth nowadays, like Brother Carl was saying, is the ABC, the bare minimums. They don't even realize. They don't even know how to say good morning in the morning. They walk right by you and they think it's normal. So a lot of it has to do with parenting in our homes, and I feel like our youth is being neglected, and they've been shown a disservice in our society because of the fact that they're not being taught. So remember, you create a monster at home. When they come out into society, you're only gonna empower that monster, because everybody that's gonna be telling them exactly what you was telling them at home. So if they believe what you were telling them, that they ain't nothing at home, and when they hear it in the streets, they're gonna gravitate to that. They're gonna act that way because they're gonna feel they're doing a good job in something, because they're always doing something wrong.
So it sounds like an uphill battle. But now let's take it from the aspect of a business owner. I want to hire some of these kids. I need people retail. If I've got a retail store, if I got a store in the hood, in the neighborhood, and I know this trauma exists. With what you guys work with every day, explain why I would take a chance, knowing all of this now about these kids, knowing their backgrounds, knowing that, listen, you come from, they've been involved in the justice system, they've seen some hard things, now they're in different programs, they're trying to do better. Why am I looking to hire some of these guys?
I would say don't judge a person by their record. Judge them by their dedication, by their willingness to work, the willingness to learn, the willingness to show up on time, the willingness to put in the work, to do all the right things. You may look at someone's record, oh, this person did this, I don't know if I could trust this person. You have to put your trust in somebody. And why not give someone that opportunity? You never know how you change someone's life. You never know how you change somebody's life. That job, getting that position, may set this person up for the rest of their life, may change their life and affect their kids, their kids' kids. It can set them up. It could change their disposition. It could change so many different things of giving someone an opportunity, regardless of their record.
So change is generational.
It is, definitely. Change, like, it can go, you can feel it reverberate throughout so many different spheres. That's why I believe like generational wealth and different things is just from parent to child, parent to child, parent to child. Just like we learn bad things, we can learn great things from parent to child, parent to child. So opportunities, you give someone an opportunity, they can go home like, listen, to their child, like, hey, you know what I've been through. And this person took a chance out on me and decided, you know what? I'm gonna help you with this opportunity. I'm gonna give you this opportunity to succeed. And then it's up to.
Wow. We're having a heavy conversation here. I've got two agents of change on the Coach Ray Speaks podcast. Mr. Carlton Smith, Mr. Bobby Romo. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Coach Ray Baxter, and I want to talk to you for a moment about your business. That's right, your business. Have you laid a foundation of reliability and trust within your team? How do you deal with difficult customers? Now that you have completed the sale, what's your retention strategy? Ladies and gentlemen, not only am I a business strategist, but a subject matter expert on leadership and how leadership can enhance your bottom line. I speak throughout the country and all over the world, and I have 5 signature programs through which you can teach your staff to ask insightful questions to derive pain points, to discover whether your leaders are focus-driven or chaos creators, to not just survive the day, but to reduce service recovery, and finally, to learn not to apologize to a customer, but to collaborate and give more than what's expected. At RBJ Global Solutions, our goal is to provide an energetic, strategic, and profitable approach to organizational front lines. Contact me. I'd love to speak with you about talking to your group. That's Coach Ray, that's COACHRAY, at CoachRaySpeaks.com.
And we're back with our third and final segment for this podcast, episode 2 of the Coach Ray Speaks podcast. I'm speaking with two agents of change, two messengers, as it were. Guys, I kind of want to change it up a little bit now. Bobby, this goes to you. How do you have the conversations with guys that you know are on the wrong path when they come to you? And you may see these guys once, twice, 3 times. You may see them maybe in the hood, in the neighborhood. But how do you broach the conversation when you know what's going wrong for them? And they may have an attitude, and their attitude is just completely wrong, and it's off the chain. How do you broach that conversation to get them to change?
Well, if I seen them twice or 3 times, I ask them if my words echoed them when they were in their cell, because I told them that was going to be their reality. Well, if I end up seeing them before it gets to the second time, I actually tell them that you remind me of every bit of myself when I was 14 years old and I needed another bid. You see, because all these, there's a lot of youth that come into society that they do need another bid inside, meaning they do need to go back incarcerated for another 2 or 3 years to end up getting more serious about what they're dealing with in society. Because when you're dealing with these employers, they don't want to take chances on us no more, for the simple fact that they're losing too much money. They're losing their business. The business is to try to find someone that's going to help you succeed, not take away. And a lot of the youths that are coming now I tell you right now, Mr. Baxter, every 5 that come into my office, one of them make it. And the second one tries very hard and gets discouraged and goes back to prison. And the other 3 definitely go back to prison. And in a matter of 3 years that I've been doing this is exactly how I've seen it. So I tell them pretty much when they come inside, listen, bro, I can only give you so much, because I can't hold your hand tonight when you laying down next to your girl, even though next to her, you're still by yourself staring at that ceiling. You have to come with grips and understand you're getting older, not any younger. So if you want to waste time and get to my age and talk what I'm talking to you at my age, then go right ahead, because prison is always open, it's always available, there's always spots in prison, and it's a revolving door that it works towards the benefit of the state, not towards us. But if you want to make that your reality and start talking the way I'm talking at the age of 40, then go ahead, do that. But be honest with yourself, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, for the period of time, the reason why I've always failed in the streets was because I couldn't go 100. I couldn't go hard, because you can't half-ass the streets. You can't give half-heartedly. You can't be one person one way in the streets and then try to live a productive life. It's going to catch up to you. And people, you're going to lose credibility with the streets and the people that are around you, because they're not going to be able to trust you, and everybody's always panic. A lot of people don't realize that, or don't know this, that the regular criminal from the streets, 99% of them are very leery and nervous around their surroundings. They don't trust no one. So if they can't trust you, and then you're trying to talk positive one day and then coming and doing criminal the other, your credibility gets shot. So if you're going to play the streets, bro, stop the program right now. Go ahead, and I'll see you when you come back out of prison. But if you don't, and you serious about this, then get it together. I could take you to somebody that knows, because I don't know everything. I'm still trying to make the transition more successful in society since I've been home. And it's a work in progress every single day. But I have to set goals. If you do not set no short-term or long-term goals, you're just existing. And that's something that I talk to these youths. I tell them, you was living your best life last night in that party or in that club, right? And don't you realize that all you was doing is getting yourself in debt, and you just existing. You're not even living. When you learn to live, you're going to see there's a difference in the feeling. It's not only going to be a moment in a day, in a night. It's going to be an actual way of life. And who knows who you can help, because all these youths, they got their babies giving babies.
Right.
So I'm saying, don't you realize that your son, your daughter is going to grow up to be the same man that you are to her? And I'm telling them from facts. I got 4 kids, and I loved each and every one of them the way my father loved me. He abandoned me when I was 2 years old. My mother left me when I was 15 days old. So I love all my 4 children the same way I was taught that. That's why I say home is very important, because these kids become desensitized, and you begging for your life or mercy. Trust me, you haven't been in their shoes. They're not going to think that you're more important than them. So if they have to choose between you and them, they going for them, because all their life is they. I tell my guys this: 99 point of the times, you got two things going against you right off the back. One, you're black or Hispanic, and two, you're coming out of prison. So you got to come in grips with reality that it's not going to be easy for you, man. I started working in jobs that I never worked a day in my life. I started working some demolition jobs. I had to end up going home and having in bed, feeling the trembleness because of the machine of working it all day. My body used to tremble in pain, but it was a process. Now you see how I dress, the way I look, how I act now. It's all a process. I wasn't going to take no shorts no more. I said to my family, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to do what I got to end up doing. If society fails me because of my skin color or because of my past flaws, then I got no other choices, and that's the harsh realities as being a black or Hispanic man in this society. That once you got that mark against you, you're always being scrutinized. You will get judged on that cover that you show them. But the one thing I always instill in them is that, but you can stand out. If you do what you're supposed to be doing, you're gonna stand out from everyone around you, because everyone is trying to get over. Everyone is trying to look for somebody to do something for them. If you get caught in that cycle of mentality, you're gonna get driven right there. You're going to be right with them.
Okay, but let me ask you something though. Let's talk about the guy, not the guy that's on the fence, not the guy that you're bringing over. Let's talk about the guy that's away from the fence, the guy that came to the site, excuse me, or came to where you're working and he's high, or that guy is just hard to reach. How do you talk to him?
Well, you end up letting them know, first and foremost, find the root of what he's going through. Not for nothing, like 75% of the guys that come, they all been molested, man. These guys don't want to talk, man. Wow. These guys, picture me coming to you and making you feel, if I don't got a brother like Carl that I have in my job that I could go and speak to him and tell him, yo, listen, man, my uncle was molesting me when I was younger. How you expect me to break out of that? How you expect me to want to live productively in society if I still got those memories, if I still got those thoughts, if I still got that
that's that healing portion.
Exactly. So we all, the youth nowadays and the guys that are not doing what they're supposed to, they so caught up with their sub-personality that they choose to be living in that shell and protecting themselves because that's the only way they feel protected.
I'm going to stop you right there. You said sub-personality.
Correct.
All right. Let's talk about that for a minute. And Carl, I need you to jump in on this. So what is a sub-personality? For someone listening to this that just doesn't know, and remember, we got a lot of people around the world listening to this, and this is a real deep conversation. What is a sub-personality and how does that manifest?
Okay, sub-personality, the clearest and most simplest form is being someone you're not. A lot of us are, what do we taught when we're younger? We're boys, you're a boy, stop crying, you're not supposed to cry.
Man up, yeah.
So man up.
So what you usually meet when you first meet somebody? That representative. You meet that representative. You don't meet the real person.
There you go. That's a sub-personality, a representative of what they could. Because deep inside, they are loving. They are caring. But they see that as a sign of weakness.
So how do you reach that person? How do you get deep enough to bring that person out, to bring them to the change to cross the fence?
A lot of times it's spending time. You're not going to get that in 5 minutes, 10 minutes and just, all right, I'll see you, take care. It's spending time. That person has to know that you're going to be there. Because they're coming most likely from a place of abandonment. So it's like, okay, this person is just they're going to go away. No, you have to show the person that you're going to be there. You have to be, that credible person. They have to see you be there and they have to see you doing the things that you said you're going to do.
I like feel. Because a brother like Carl, I feel what he's saying. I know that I'm gonna tell him something right now that's gonna fuck his head up so bad that he gonna take me to his house and he's gonna think about finding a solution for me. You see, a lot of brothers don't go that above and beyond no more. They only like, listen, I get paid 8 hours. After my 8 hours, I'm done and I leave my. That doesn't work when you're dealing with humans. When you're dealing with functional youth or men that come in that are broken spiritually, mentally, and physically, you're not gonna. That doesn't work that way. You got to go beyond that 9 to 5.
So then let's talk about what you guys do on a daily basis. You both are credible messengers.
Correct.
And that word is powerful.
I need you, Carl, to tell me what that is. So you're a credible messenger professionally.
Yes. So credible messenger to many people, they have different terminologies or what it means. To me, a credible messenger is somebody that you can take their word and be like, you know what, this person's going to walk it. They're going to talk it. They're going to do everything they say. It's somebody that's formerly incarcerated, maybe, or from a neighborhood as the people they serve, or been through a walk of life and made that successful. And I state that successful transition from doing these negative things into these positive things, and is going to use their experience and their knowledge and know-how to kind of assist the people that they serving. It don't have to be just young adults. It don't have to be kids. It could be an older adult. You could be a credible messenger to them. And that word credible is strong, because I can't tell you or give you guidance on something and then you see me in the hood doing something negative.
Right.
How credible is that word? My word isn't credible. You're like, oh, you're just like everybody else. So you have to be that person that they can look at and be like, you know what? 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to call you. I know you're going to pick up. You're going to look out for me. You're going to have my back regardless of the situation. You know, somebody like that. That's what a credible messenger is.
And you told me that you get those calls at 3 or 5 o'clock
Oh,
in the morning.
man, I do. I do. I get them all the time. And it may be for a different array of things. Oh, my child's mother's stressing me out. I don't have no place to live. That is the most call I get, is that I don't have a place to stay. Can you help me with a place to stay? And I'll tell them, listen, if I need to walk you to the shelter, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go together. And they accept that. I'm like, you know what? You real, like, cause I know you're going to hold me down. You're going to look out for me. You're not just, hey, you get paid to do this. I don't get paid at 5 a.m. I don't get paid at 2 a.m. I don't get paid at 1 a.m. But I'm there because I know if I was in that similar situation, I would need that. When I was sleeping on the train, I didn't have nobody. I didn't have nobody. I had to do everything myself. That's why I'm going to be that person that they can look out to, that they can look for, because I didn't have that, you know? So I can even go back into my life. Like, my mother was murdered when I was 18 months old. My father was incarcerated my entire life. I had foster parents. My foster parents died when I was 18. So I did everything myself. I had to do everything myself. So I know I needed that helping hand. So I want to be that helping hand to assist those who feel like they have nothing or they're doing everything themselves. Tell them, hey, you're not by yourself. You have somebody to help you out. You have somebody to hold you down.
In the last few minutes that we have, guys, talk about the resources that are needed in the work that you do, the resources that you don't have that you wish you had, and maybe an improvement on the resources that you do have, and what is being done to help the young people that you deal with.
Resources, we need things in our communities, because we can bring them out of the community and talk all that nice stuff we want to. Hey, do this, do that. But you're returning to the same place. You're returning to the same place that you see the drug dealers, you see the crime, you see the gang violence. You're returning to the same place. So we need to put things in those neighborhoods that can assist: community centers, parks, recreation centers, wellness centers. Put those things in those neighborhoods, businesses that they can work at in those neighborhoods, the system. So when they go home, they know I have something there. Because if we don't do that, we're just talking. We're just having conversation, because they're going to go right back to their neighborhood, right back to the same thing that made them sick, right back to the same thing.
See, and that's a perfect point right there. These programs only provide to a certain level, and these programs, when these participants come inside, you see the sense of light. A blink, it goes in their eyes. It's a sense of there's hope. Okay, because I know, like the brother just finished telling you, his father never around, his mother was murdered. My mom's left me when I was 15, and my father left me because he was an alcoholic at 2 years old. We come from the same upbringing. I would never believe that I could make it to college, but listening to my brother Carl talk about that, how he accomplished college, I'm similar steps where he's at. I know now I can make it, because there's my brother in the same shoes as me. We came from the same struggle, and now I'm even more of a believer, because where I'm standing at right now is the side of my brother, not below him, like so many of them come. So I feel like these programs just fulfill a certain, but they don't teach. I feel like if we start implementing certain programs to teach our people how to become owners, real entrepreneurs, not just this fancy word, because back in the days everybody wanted to be a dancer. From a dancer they wanted to be a rapper, and from a rapper they wanted now everybody want to be an entrepreneur. But like I said, you give a youth $10,000, the first thing he's gonna go do is buy himself something nice to wear. So it's like what we've been taught. We have to start building programs that awaken our people and let them know, okay, these are the resources. If you follow this structure, this is the way it's going to benefit you in some way. But a lot of us, they successfully complete the programs, but after you finish the program, what else do you have? My reality is Monroe Houses. My reality is Castle Hill Projects. And when I go back in there, I see how you look, and you look real nice. But this drug dealer that's pushing this Benz and looking with the latest Yeezys on, he doing a lot better than you are. And I know that you're a good person and all that, but being a good guy, it's not really a nice thing in this society.
Right.
So what happens? You get discouraged.
Yes.
Yep.
Because information is good, but the implementation of information and knowledge is powerful.
Amen.
So a lot of times that we have to start showing them how to do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. You want to do this? This is how you do it.
So, final point. We're about to close out. Final point. If there are guys that were in your similar situations that are thinking about becoming credible messengers, is it worth it to them? Is it worth it to do? What would you tell them?
First thing I'll say is the Institute for Transformative Mentoring. It's a course that you can take at the New School. Changed my life. Because our motto is heal people, heal people. A lot of time you don't know that you're hurting. And just being around alike people that've been through what you've been through, and it's like a brothership, you know. Females, males can go and you learn about healing and hurt and trauma and youth development, brain development. You learn about so many different things about yourself while you're assisting someone else.
Wow.
Taking that course changed my life.
See, that's something I just learned right now. I never heard of the course before. I feel like this what we do now. I see so much in Brother Carl, like how he just keeps it a buck. He keeps it real. He speaks from the heart. And that's something that these new guys that want to become credible messengers just don't ever lose that fire of knowing that it's a self-gratifying feeling when you see another brother come up from the gutter and make it somewhere. And that's something that no money is ever, we don't get paid. Like my brother just said, we don't get paid for this, man. But we just do it because we just have hope. See, I just learned something today. I tried working one at a time, but my brother told me that there's bigger. If I start setting my mind on bigger and more people to come in and awakening, then I'm going to have much more of a satisfaction within myself because I'm going to see more brothers prospering. So he just taught me something that, again, this is something that we was taught. I'm trying to deal with one at a time. My brother's trying to take the whole cake with him. And he's at least in a whole bunch. If 5 can make it out of 10, that's half. If 3 can make it out of 10, that's quarter. You feel? So it's like every one of us, if we want more and want to see more people awoken, so we gravitate to more people instead of one at a time, you're going to have much more of success. But always stay honest with yourself.
Wow, that's awesome. We've been speaking with Mr. Bobby Romo and Mr. Carlton Smith, credible messengers in this life, ladies and gentlemen, and they work with young people every day that can help the change. It's the change that America needs. I thank both of them and thank you for listening to the Coach Ray Speaks podcast, episode 2. Any questions, hit me up, Coach Ray at CoachRaySpeaks.com. Take care.
Hey, this is Coach Ray from Coach Ray Speaks. I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. We hope to give you great content with each and every episode. If you happen to want to speak with us or have any comments about the show, please contact me at Coach Ray, CoachRay, at CoachRaySpeaks.com. Otherwise, lift your feet up, light them if you got them. We'll be right back with great conversation.